everyone, and welcome back to my channel for another fabulous speed build. Today I'm super excited to be sharing with you what I consider to be a really large family traditional Christmas mansion extravaganza, if you will. But I am super excited to finally share this build because I finished it actually a few weeks ago. I was really in the mood in like early November and I was like, you know what? Let's just let it ride. Let's enjoy the Christmas spirit. Let's build something Christmassy. However, I almost wish I waited a little bit longer just because all the cute things that we're getting with the new Login Holiday Event Award thing. Like the welcome mat is super cute, all the new wreaths, but whatever. I was pretty heavily inspired by the iconic Home Alone house, which is just this big, ginormous brick traditional home. There is nothing like that where I'm from. I've never seen a home like that in real life, but I do think they're pretty fancy and they always remind me of Christmas when I see them. Speaking of Christmas, I cannot believe Christmas is literally next week. I am very ill prepared. I haven't really particularly planned anything I'm supposed to plan, and I am cooking for like 10 people on Christmas Day. A bunch of my coworkers are from out of state and not everyone goes home. One of my other friends, her son is going to be with his father in, I think, like Massachusetts or something, and she's like, I don't have anything to do. I'm like, come to my house. I'm over here inviting people left and right. Like, I got all these plans. My plans were to watch Christmas movies and drink apple cider by myself, and now I'm cooking, which I'm really excited about. I love cooking. I like hosting. And it's fun to get to spend my holiday with my kind of chosen family, if you will. However, what's not nice is having to cook for that number of people and not even having a clue in the world as to what you're gonna make. I have a couple ideas because I was thinking about doing something semi-traditional, but a lot of my friends have already done the traditional Christmas dinner thing. Here's my reasoning for wanting to do something more traditional, because I don't eat like that at any other point throughout the year except Thanksgiving and Christmas. So like, I like getting to eat the fancy schmancy traditional Christmas food. I'm talking like, I don't know about your family, but my family has made like prime rib in the past, or turkeys, hams, things like that. Like, I don't make mashed potatoes around the year. I do like the powdered mashed potatoes. I'm so telling on myself, I don't care. But making mashed potatoes is a lot of effort and they make quite a bit. I don't cook for a ton of people all the time. It's just me and my Swedish, and that is just like not warranting making mashed potatoes. So like, I'm like, that's what I gravitate towards, and it's fun to cook like that in my opinion. In terms of my friends, though, I have a really interesting friend group. Like, a lot of my friends who are from out of the States are from up north, and they've only ever done the traditional Christmas thing. And then one of my other friends, she is also Hispanic, and I was talking about, like, oh, I used to love going over to, like, my friend Katie's house, and her family's Cuban. They always did, like, a big spread of, like, traditional Cuban foods, you know, rice and beans. They did a pig. I'm like, that could be fun. And she's like, no, that would be so homey. I haven't had anything like that since I was a kid. I'm like, I don't really have the space to do all that, but it could be so stinking good. And it sounds really fun. And then my other friends are like, we've never experienced anything like that. I'm like, ooh, that could be super fun. Then, of course, my other option, because I saw that they're going on sale this week. I don't know if they're actually like gonna be there when I get to the grocery store, but there are crab legs on sale, and crab legs make you feel so fancy. Slightly animalistic, because as a grown-up who doesn't have to answer to anyone necessarily, sometimes if I'm feeling sad, I'll just go get myself some crab legs and I'll boil them, and I'll sit on my living room floor and I'll watch my favorite comfort TV show and eat my crab legs like a little monster. And it does feed both my tummy and my soul, and I think that could be like kind of fun. Then I have to worry about the dessert. I still have to make Christmas cookies. I have to make desserts for this event. I'm definitely making like some kind of pie or something. I don't know. I love pie. I'm not really a frosting girl, so cake isn't necessarily my thing. And I got all this stuff to do. I still have presents to wrap. I'm sitting next to a pile of presents that are unwrapped, that need to be wrapped and shipped out to the appropriate people yesterday. And I'm just not prepared. I don't even have human children. I do have my girls, my little fur babies. I don't even have human children. I could not imagine how stressful the holidays must be for the people in our lives who are kind of orchestrating the entire event, because I am feeling stressed to the max, and it's only my doing because I have been a procrastination lady. Anyway, when when it comes to actually talking about the build for like a hot second, I made a brutal error that most simmers know better than, but I just lost my training for a bit. I terrain painted first, and of course when I reloaded into the game to finish my build, it was all gone, and I was pretty pissy about it, but I kind of needed it just because this lot is relatively large and the house is pretty large, and I just wanted to be able to kind of take a good look as to where I needed the actual landscaping and then fill in accordingly. I actually left a large chunk of the landscaping in this video, which I almost never do, simply because I'm not very good at landscaping, and I feel like you guys only want to see so much landscaping. But here I am going to debug finally, just placing a few last minute things that I definitely need, and trying my absolute best to make sure this doesn't look completely disgusting. I really took advantage of a lot of greeneries, large bushes. The bushes specifically from the Growing Together debug catalog are some of my favorite to use when I'm doing any kind of landscaping like this, but I really stemmed away from like flowers and things because I know it doesn't seem like it at this moment, but this house on the gallery, and I think even at some point in the video I go into like live mode so I can have the actual like snow on the ground, but there's snow everywhere, so I didn't want all the plants to look dead, and that's part of the reason I built in Manage Worlds, just so I didn't have the weather conditions affecting anything I was doing, because I'm already a bad landscaper. Don't give me a bunch of Stigs and Twix and tell me to landscape and figure it out, because I simply don't have that much talent. I also wanted to bring a sim here at some point to put up like Christmas lights and, you know, do the decor box type things, but I'm really happy with how the overall shape of this house came out, and I think if you were to download it, you could delete, you know, I put up a Christmas tree, there's Christmas cards everywhere, blah blah blah. I think you could probably get away with like deleting some of the more defined Christmas decorations and just enjoy this as a really large family style home, especially if you're a legacy challenge queen like myself. I love me a large family home. It's one of my favorite things to build. It's one of the only things I build, and I also do extremely well in terms of what I post on my channel. People always seem to gravitate towards watching that sort of content more, and that's good for me because, again, I like to make it. I still can't decide if I like the way those hydrangeas look because they're so big, but I've seen other creators do it, and I always think it looks good when other creators do it. Like, I'm trying to think who I necessarily watch and I've seen do that, but it was freaking me out how big they were, but it also made a lot of sense. Here I am just starting with the blazing guns, which is obviously my Christmas tree, my living room, the kind of heart of the home, if you will. I'm trying to remember exactly how large this home is. I think it ends up being a 4 or 5 bedroom, 4 or 5 bathroom home, and there's probably an office at some point, knowing me. If it wasn't obvious, for those of you who don't watch my content all the time, then you should know I did in fact use several different packs. I have a problem. I have some limited pack stuff coming. I say this every time, I know I do, but I promise there is a whole playlist dedicated to my base game only builds or my limited pack builds. And I actually did a huge limited pack build for my video the other day, which you might have noticed that I missed uploading. Yeah. I don't know exactly what happened, but the footage was unusable. My video editing software could not fix it. I did everything I could. I cried. I called my mom. You know, I had to take a minute. I had to go on a walk and like fan my face because I was so upset about it. But we're back. We're better than ever. So we're posting this beautiful build, and we're gonna have to say goodbye to my beautiful limited pack winter house build. But I think I'm gonna rebuild it sometime over the weekend and post it next week. Overall, with this house, I was really enjoying kind of coming together with the different sections. I sometimes struggle with homes that are very symmetrical because I just don't know where to place the stairs, and I feel like in the middle is the easiest and the most blatantly obvious. But then you have to kind of split all the living areas up, and I just sometimes struggle with being able to do that. I do think it came together okay in the end. We have a formal dining room and a formal kitchen wing, as well as like this formal living room space, and there's actually one downstairs bedroom and one downstairs bathroom, if I'm correct. We're moving on into the kitchen. I ended up using, I want to say probably a lot of like black and yellows in here, and I know that sounded weird, but I still wanted this house to feel like something you could play in when it's not the holiday season, obviously. But I used the upper cabinets from the Life and Death expansion pack with the lower cabinets from the base game, and I just thought that looked really cute. I liked all the gold accents. If you've seen my channel, you know I really gravitate towards the gold accents. I am obsessed with that look, all in all. But this kitchen is super, super big, and I'm super jealous. Pardon my my debug there. honestly, when it comes to any build that I do for like the holiday season, I actually think my Christmas builds are more subtle than anything I build for like spooky season. And that's simply because the amount of pumpkins I have access to in this game it's too much. I just go crazy and get way too excited. I'm putting jack-o'-lanterns in people's rooms. It's just nuts. We're moving on into the dining room, and I ended up using the table from the free holiday stuff pack because I feel like I never really use that stuff since I don't necessarily love it, but it was free, so it kind of gets the pass. My big thing though is there is a fireplace that we got with the free holiday stuff pack, and it has 3 swatches on it. It's like green, red, and blue. Then we got the exact same fireplace in Seasons, and it comes in like purple, yellow, and some other color, and that just really makes me mad. I don't know really why. I also think it's because I don't think the fireplace is that cute or usable. So, Sims team, watch your back, watch your mouth. But it also matches this table, which is why I'm kind of remembering it and bringing it up, because again, I don't use it super frequently. I think I built it in used it in one home this holiday season when I was building like literally Santa's cottage. Anyhow, I super just been enjoying posting my Simsmas content, except even my mom was like, every time I talk to you, you're filming. Every time, my friend Caroline was just like, hey, you want to get lunch? And I'm like, I would love to. I am filming. You're going to have to give me like 45 minutes. And she's like, she's going to have to give me 45 minutes. She's having a really, really rough couple days. And I do, in fact, need to take a break from filming to go see her. But everyone, thoughts and prayers for Caroline. She'll be okay, but she's just having like a rough season of life. And honestly, I have to be there for her because I was rotting in my bed for weeks and weeks on end. That seasonal depression always comes for me. It always gets me. I cannot escape it. I just have to feel it and let it out. But in that process, she was like so awesome and like pulling me out of like my house, even when I didn't want her to. Like, one of our other friends, Morgan, she is from a town that's not super far from where we all live. And she was like, oh, I'm going home for the holiday. Not the holiday, but she's like, I'm going home for a couple days. You should come. And we can go, like, eat where I used to work and go see some of the bars I used to go to with my friends. Like, meet with, fun stuff. I was like, I'll think about it. I was not going. Yeah, Caroline calls me. She goes, yeah, I'm going to be at your house in 2 or 3 hours. So pack and go. And if you don't pack and go, I'm going to come in anyways. And I'm going to rifle through your stuff, which is only going to give you even more anxiety. I said, fine. We ended up going. We ended up having a crazy evening out because anytime the 3 of us get together, it just turned into a crazy evening. But on the bright side, we didn't spend any money, but that's because, I don't know if any of you ever heard of Hooters. It's a restaurant, and all the ladies have like, I don't even know what to call them because the outfits are pretty skimpy, but like there's like Twin Peaks out there and that's crazy. Like they'll be wearing like lingerie, but it's like sports food, nothing crazy. A lot of male patrons though. We walk in, we were the only girls there who were not working, and people just kept sending drinks to our table. It was crazy. And then everyone's like, where are you guys going after this? And I'm like, stranger danger, we're not telling you where we're going. But we ended up running into someone who saw us at the restaurant, and he was like, girls, you sing karaoke? We're like, yeah, duh. I mean, I don't sing karaoke, but they do. And he's like, great, go impress me, go sing some songs, and I will pay your whole bar tab. We're like, okay. So of course we did it, but, anywho, in this kids room that we are kind of moving through, I was really inspired by candy canes, and that was like the vibe I was going for. And between the striped wallpaper and this cute white bed I used from high school years, I actually think I achieved that pretty well. Did I put a Christmas tree in almost every room? Yes, I did. I have no regrets about that, but I understand that this is one of those rooms where it's very obvious that I have lost the plot of subtlety. Unfortunately, that's never been my specialty, both in The Sims or in real life. And I do apologize for that, for some of you who are like, oh, maybe she's fun, maybe I like to listen to her yap, maybe I should subscribe. And then you're like, oh, maybe not, maybe this girl's a little all over the place. But at least I am who I am. So this is one of the 3 upstairs bedrooms. I'm trying to remember exactly how many bedrooms there are. Here's the primary bedroom with the primary bathroom, as well as balcony access. I don't know how to explain it, but I really enjoy when my balconies can be accessed by like primary bedrooms, grandparents' rooms, or just like the general space. I'm not really a huge fan when there's balconies attached to like kids' bedrooms. I do think there's a gray area when it comes to teen rooms, depending on the storyline you're going for, because I love to build for a storyline. I put some extra presents in here because in my head, like the parents have, you know, gifts that they haven't put under the tree yet or they're still wrapping. I used to absolutely love wrapping presents with my mother. It was so much fun. And normally when I was like living at home full time, my mom would tell you, pretty much everything would be wrapped in advance when I started helping her wrap or just wrapping everything for her and my dad. But then because I was the one wrapping everything, my gifts were always like the last one to get wrapped. I'm like, Mom, why are you wrapping gifts on like Christmas Eve? I thought that's why I was wrapping stuff for you to like avoid it. She's like, I have to wrap your stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. Honestly, it got to the point where anything that wasn't like out of its packaging that I couldn't tell what it was, my mom would be like, yeah, that's for your wrapping. I'm like, okay, I can do that. But that was always really fun. But we are kind of wrapping up our speed build, so do not fret. I'm going to jump in game and give you guys a live tour because we've been bouncing around quite a bit. I don't think I left in the furnishing of my detached garage, but don't worry, we will still take a look at it and see all the wonderful details, so let's get into it. Okay, team, we have made it to our final build, and as you can see, there's some extra decorations that you may not have seen. I actually moved a family in here at some point. I don't really know why, but I sized up these reindeer things. Please ignore how they look, just a tad, but I thought it was cute that they were like rooftop pieces. I tried my best to make them funny and cute, and then of course we have lights everywhere. But let's go on into our house. I moved a family in here, as I mentioned, but you come in, and of course we have a piano. I said this in my Victorian Christmas build the other day. Ooh. Oh. Well, that doesn't need to be there. Let's put that over here. But I think pianos just inherently scream, like, filthy stinking rich mansion owners. So I enjoyed that. You come on in here, and there's actually 2 pianos because, you know, why not? I moved a family in here, which I think is cute. And then there's like this right here. Anywho, moving on into this downstairs bedroom, I thought this would be fun to be like grandpa's room or your grandparents'. And it's very, very festive. My grandmother always loved Christmas. I used to love going over to her house to make cookies and wrap presents, even though she was like a grumpy old lady and would like definitely kind of snap a little bit if you didn't do it to her standard, but still. Heading on back across the house, then we have our formal dining area. It's very, very green, which I kind of love about that. I was trying to stick to a also like traditional furnishing styling if that was not obvious. And then we have a downstairs bathroom. Ooh, that's a mistake. Let's fix that. And then we also have our kitchen. I never use this tile, but it felt really right. And I do really enjoy it. I just wish it didn't go all the way up the ceiling because I am using medium wall height, so it's like, kind of freaking me out. Then you're gonna go upstairs. Oop, that's down. Upstairs we have this cute little landing. I, for some reason, lost the furnishing of the other 2 rooms. I don't know what that was about. But if you come in here, we have our candy cane bedroom, which is just for a child sim. And I just like the idea of them having a tree in their room because I was definitely that kid. Okay, then we have this teens room over here. It's very green. And I imagine this is for like an older child, maybe even a young adult sim who moved home, lives at home, or even a guest room if you really wanted. Then, of course, we have an infant's room, and this is like kind of a bluey-esque color, and they actually have an ensuite, which might be a little bit bizarre, but I just felt like the floor plan worked better like this than rather having an attached bathroom over here. And I like the way it came out, very green. Again, I love this little blarfy from the Tiny Campers kit. Lastly, we have our primary bedroom, lots of presents, very, very fancy mom and dad vibes. I love the wallpaper in here. It just feels really festive, but again, I think if you deleted all the presents, this is just like more of a dark and moody primary bedroom. And then, of course, they also have an ensuite. I gave them some really beautiful double sinks using the cabinets from Life and Death, which are some of my favorite in the game. Oop, that window is really on the ground. And then, of course, we have a little patio space out here. Lots of skill building items. We have a sitting area, a logic table, and a telescope. Then downstairs we just have an additional seating area. I also put some planter boxes in the yard and some playground equipment for our kiddos, and then that leads us into our detached garage, which I did not film, unfortunately. And that is just a large gym area, very fancy. Like, these people have to be filthy stinking rich. And their 2-car garage, of course, these are fake cars, and that kind of leaves us at the end of our build. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little floor plan look for my floor plan girlies, put my grid on. So it's a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom house, which is really stinking super cute, formal living and dining area. And then of course we have our detached garage over here. But that leaves us at the end of this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. You know, I just love when you guys do that for me. Also, make sure you are hanging out with us by subscribing to my channel. We have a bunch of fun stuff coming up, so I'm really excited to share that with all of you. And I'd love if you subscribed. And additionally, don't forget to drink your water, and also let me know in the comments, what on earth should I cook for Christmas dinner? What do you eat for Christmas dinner? I need some help. I have to get to the grocery store and get on my stuff. Anyways, I will see you guys next time. Bye everyone.